At our last couple of plant sales, we were very surprised how popular they were and how quickly they sold. And once people knew the cause it was going towards, that seemed to kind of heighten the fury a little bit.
And these cactus-mad local landscapers have provided enough seed money to allow us to fund the Springs Preserve Science Grant Program in partnership with the Public Education Foundation.
Well, we were trying to find an easy way to make the funds available once we started generating some revenue. And that's what the Public Education Foundation does, is raise money and then also simplify the process to get that money to the school system or the teachers quickly.
As a regular visitor to the Springs Preserve, Kathleen Rice already had a plan for bringing the learning power of the nature exchange to her science students at Cram Middle School.
I read the Springs Preserve was giving a science grant to people, and I thought, I really love this nature center. It's been great for my children. I've told students about it and they've gone over to make trades, and I thought, I wonder if I wrote a grant for it, if they would give me permission to lift their idea.
She was given both permission and support as one of the first recipients of a $500 grant, which spreads the message of the preserve and encourages creative teachers.
It's science primarily, and we give preference to subject matter that we talk about here at the Springs Preserve, whether it be horticulture, botany, architecture, archaeology, but it's not exclusive to that. So if we see a project out there that's really good and doesn't fit into those different subjects, we'll go ahead and consider it.
We're looking for teachers who are taking it out of the classroom, teachers who are doing things they've not had an opportunity to do in their classrooms before, and to be creative and create an environment where the students can do things, hands-on learning, project-based learning, that they haven't had an opportunity to do when they're sitting in their classrooms.
And that was almost exactly the inspiration behind the cactus garden planted by Debbie Hungate's 4th grade students at Deering Elementary School.
Wanting to do something fun besides just, here's a textbook and let's read about a plant life. Let's incorporate it and do hands-on. So that's where Cacti City came from.
The main thing is the buy-in of the students, that they get excited about it, that they build it themselves, and so they take ownership of it.
Debbie saw the benefits of that buy-in as her students dedicated themselves to creating the Cacti City and excelling in the classroom.
I noticed that as the kids started working and putting some effort in doing ownership of their garden, because it is theirs, their grades went up and their behavior improved, and so it was a great incentive.
And it gives us good reason to seek out truly sustainable projects like these.
We want whatever it is they're doing to continue on. They can look for other donors, they can look for other avenues to buy more materials, but we want to make sure that it's not a one-shot thing, that the materials they buy and the programs they implement are things that students can continue to learn from in years to come.
In the last year, the Nature Store has grown from 2 display cases to 3, thanks to donations and the sophisticated business of bartering for high-end artifacts while learning some pretty advanced information.
We have a 5,000 point ammonite fossil right now in the Nature Store, and we also have a cast of a dinosaur footprint from St. George, Utah. Many students, they trade up, so they might bring an item in for 100 points. The next day, they go home, learn about the item, bring it back. If they bring the item back, they get the 100 points for the item. With information, they get 100 points for that as well. So when they learn, now they have 200 points that they can buy a larger or more expensive item, bring it home, learn, bring it back over and over again until they trade up to something very expensive.
But even the basic lessons are invaluable to the students in these science grant classes.
Some of them didn't even know that they lived in the Mojave Desert. So, we talked about area and regions and climate, just a whole realm of things. So we tied in the Nevada history with the geography and science with plant life and things like that. So it was just like a full circle of lessons.
Lessons that also excite the lifelong learners.
I've learned that students who otherwise would not be interested in natural items can be awakened and love it and understand it as something more personal to them.
To the point where it becomes part of everyday conversation with their families, as Cacti City did for several Deering students.
My kid comes home and tells me about cactus, so I'm like, that's great, because at least I know that they were learning and they could tell you stuff. Did they just tell you that they planted a cactus? She's like, no, they gave me the names and the colors and things like that. So I'm like, that's great, That's all I can ask for is if they retain, some something from it, and they hold on to it. That's all I can hope and ask for.
And that's what makes the Springs Preserve Science Grants such an incredible investment.
It's amazing how much a classroom teacher can do with $500.